How's it going? It's Nathan Hawken and welcome to the video. Now the first thing I want to do before I get into today's video is address a bit of an elephant in the room, and that's my face. So I've just been recovering from chickenpox for the last week now, and of course chickenpox has left this all over my face. For me, it's important to talk about now because I was becoming very self-conscious of it before doing these videos. And this is the only chance I've got to do a video before I travel. So I was getting quite self-conscious about it. And I was even thinking about putting some makeup on or something like that to cover it up. But then I just thought about it for a little bit and I thought, you know what? I don't care. I'm just going to show up. I've got these lights on my face. They're probably making these spots a little bit worse, but you know what? This is how I am. This is my authentic self right now. So I'm just going to go with it. And to be honest, I just can't be asked putting makeup on just to record a video. So yeah, I wanted to address that first because like I said, I was feeling a bit self-conscious about it. And I just thought it'd be good to talk about it for a second. Now, onto the video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about your pipeline paradox. And this is important to talk about if you're another coach who's building a business, if you're a business owner, if you're a leader. I mean, business is about making sales, and you can't have sales without your pipeline. But one of the biggest threats to your own success is not your competition. It's not the changes in the market. It's not the downturns in the economy or anything like that. It's actually your current success. In my own work and my coaching work, I've watched a lot of really good leaders who have closed six-figure deals or have built a really successful business, deliver exceptional results and build those incredible reputations, but then watch as their business starts to collapse over, say, 6 to 12 months because of the same pattern, time and time again. Because we tend to think that when we've had some success, that we can actually stop doing the hard stuff that brought us the success. And what I've learned is that the moment you stop focusing on the vital thing that your business needs, which is sales, which is your pipeline, that's the moment that you start killing your future and killing your business. So today I'm sharing why your busiest periods are actually the most dangerous times in your business, particularly if you're growing like a coaching business or a consulting business and it's just you doing pretty much everything. These are the times that you need to realize and learn that how to build your success without actually cannibalizing itself. So let's talk about some of those comfortable lies that we tend to say to ourselves during those busy moments, those times where the business is actually looking quite good. And these are those surface level stories that a lot of leaders and people like yourself will tend to tell yourself during these periods, where you might be thinking, saying to yourself that I'm too busy right now delivering to focus on any of the other business development activities right now anyway. Or when this project is done, I'll get back to my networking and my outreach activities. Or right now, quality delivery is way more important than finding new clients. And a really very big one, a very ego-driven one is that, you know what, my reputation will bring the future business to me naturally without me having to do anything. No. And look, this stuff is all well and good, and it does feel very safe, and it is important. Like, don't get me wrong, this stuff is really important. But it feels safe because by focusing on delivery, it feels productive, it feels measurable. Your current clients provide you that immediate feedback and validation. You're like, this is great, this is what I signed up for, this is really working, fantastic. And that feels really good when you're delivering that type of stuff. And any additional business development activities, building your pipeline, can feel like it's actually taking time away from the paid work that has just come in. But something really important here and why it feels very safe is because you can see the direct impact of the delivery work versus the delayed results that you tend to get when you're doing any type of business development and outreach activity or building your pipeline activities. But this type of thinking is what keeps you stuck. It keeps you stuck because it creates very predictable feast or famine cycles in your business. It forces you to actually restart your business development from zero every 6 to 12 months because you've been spending more time on delivering for your new clients. It makes you very reactive rather than strategic in your client acquisition because you're reacting to what you currently need, not thinking strategically about what type of clients or how you're going to have clients come in the future. And it builds a business dependency on your current clients rather than sustainable systems that will continually bring clients into your business. So now it's time for a reality check, because your pipeline activities, they compound over months and years, not days and weeks. My old mentor used to say that if you're not happy with your results today, look back 3 months ago, look back 6 months ago. What were you doing? Because what you were doing then is what's showing up now. The best time to build relationships is when you don't need them. If you're full and you don't need relationships right now, this is the best time to start building them, because it becomes way more difficult when you actually do need the relationships, because you're coming from a desperation. You're trying to force relationships rather than having a system in place where they happen naturally. Your future self will definitely 100% pay the price for short-term thinking today. I've had a very similar conversation with many people who are solopreneurs doing their own business, who are other coaches building their own business, and they've been talking about how they've had some new clients come on board, and they're during that onboarding process, and they're getting them on board, and they're making sure they're all happy and doing their brief and all those type of things. And one of the things I always ask is, how much time are you spending on your pipeline right now? And they say, usually, none. I don't have time for that right now. And this is where I emphasize what I've spoken about already in this video. It's like, if you don't spend any time on building your pipeline right now, once you've onboarded these customers, these new clients of yours, you're going to be starting from scratch and you're going to be rebuilding it. And it's going to be that feast and famine again. When we've had that conversation, they start just doing a little bit of time every day to focus on just feeding the pipeline, which the result happens because they have a breakthrough realizing that, oh, that's why I've been in that feast or famine mode up until this time. That's why it's been so hard to rebuild my pipeline every time. They realize that their pipeline activities, they're not separate from their business. They are their business. They're the essential thing that has brought in the clients to begin with. They are everything. So let's just talk what's actually happening here when the pipeline paradox is really kicking in. In the beginning, there's a success high where it feels good in the moment. Like, yeah, I have a full calendar of paid work. I have clear deliverables and deadlines, and I've got a project now with tasks that I have to work on. I'm getting immediate client feedback and appreciation from the work that I'm doing, and they're excited about coming on board and being a new client, and I'm excited to have them as a new client. And there's a sense of being too valuable at the moment to do any type of prospecting. It's like, I'm too valuable. My client needs me right now. Or these two clients, they need me right now. I'm too valuable to them. So what happens as a result? Your pipeline starts to decay. And this is what happens invisibly. Those warm relationships that you've been nurturing, they start to cool down due to neglect because all your focus is on your new clients. The presence in your market tends to diminish because suddenly you don't have time to put yourself out there, create content, and be consistently visible in the eyes of potential clients. Maybe new opportunities start to dry up now because you're all heads down, right? And you're so focused on your current clients that you're missing any potential opportunities for new business. Then there's the crash in the cycle, which is the inevitable consequence of spending no time in your pipeline anymore. Your project ends. So your new clients come on board, those projects end, and there's no immediate follow-up work. This is where your cold outreach becomes necessary again. Those longer sales cycles start to form again because you're starting from zero. You're starting from the very beginning. So you're initially kickstarting your whole sales cycle once again. And so what can that bring? That can bring anxiety. That can bring financial pressure because now you have to find clients. You have to get more clients on board. There's no system in place, which of course brings very desperate behavior. And what do they say? Needy is creepy. People can feel desperation, which can push potential clients away rather than bringing them in. I've fallen into this trap before, probably a good few times, probably more times than I care to admit to myself, where I have been so focused on onboarding new coaching clients, even in previous roles, I've been so focused on onboarding and bringing in new clients, which I've signed, that I totally forgot about building my own pipeline. And what happens as a result? Yes, money was coming in. Fantastic. It felt great. But then once all that work was done and clients were on board, next thing I know, I had no meetings booked in my calendar. So I had to start from scratch. I had to literally pick up the phone again and start from scratch and build up my pipeline again to having like 10 to 15 appointments booked. And it's hard work, right? It's very hard work. I had to realize that even during those moments, those times when I'm bringing on clients and it feels busy, I still had to dedicate an hour or half an hour every single day to filling the pipeline or maintaining the pipeline, booking meetings. So yeah, I'm working with this client here, but I'm also booking the next meetings for the next weeks or the next few weeks as well. But I know what you're thinking. It might feel like, all right, now I've got all this work to do. I've got these clients on board. Oh, I don't have time for all this. Well, the reality is that you do. If you feel like you don't have time for it, it's just fixing your schedule to make sure that you're allocating dedicated time to your pipeline and realizing how important it is. So it doesn't have to be a big thing. It's not all day, every day pipeline development, cold outreach, or however you do it for your business. All you have to do is just identify maybe 2 to 3 of your minimum viable activities that you can do just to maintain your market presence, maintain your momentum with your cold outreach, your emailing, or however it is that you do it in your business. But schedule these as non-negotiable in your calendar. Like every single day, no matter how busy I am with current clients, no matter how many clients I'm bringing on board, every single day I've got 30 minutes where I'm picking up the phone and I'm making my calls or I'm sending my emails. I'm doing my bare minimum business development activities. Keep your focus on relationship maintenance, not always necessarily on relationship building. You need to have a bit of both, but maintaining the relationship you have is always going to be a far better option than consistently and having to build relationships from scratch. Think presence, not prospecting. Think about how you're in front of people, not always prospecting all the time. Keep in mind the compound continuity rule where never let more than 2 weeks pass without any type of meaningful industry contact. So 2 weeks is the absolute maximum where you will go without contacting someone. Personally, I think that's a little bit too long. That's probably stretching it. I would say 1 week max. Maybe you've got a week where you're so busy. Okay, fair enough. You've got to put all your time to onboarding clients. I always think you should be doing something every day, at the minimum every week, even if it's an hour a week, just to make sure that the compound continuity is happening for you. So no matter what's going on, you're always compounding on your business development activity. Maintain your visibility through your content or your comments or your conversations that you have, or maybe it's just reaching out to people that you already know rather than going from cold, and just maintaining the relationship. Sending an email, making a call to people who are already in your pipeline, just to keep that relationship nice and warm. Think of it like this, not just as business development, but more like business insurance. You're insuring your future business by maintaining relationships during the busy times when you feel like you don't have time to do it. This is insurance on your future business. And as a final step, you could think of some like future self-accountability, where before taking on any other major projects right now, plan your pipeline maintenance strategy. So have your pipeline in place, in your calendar, your strategy there ready to go. So when any big deals come your way, when any new clients come on board, you're working around your pipeline and how you're going to onboard them, how you're going to bring your new client in, rather than trying to find time for your pipeline when you have new clients. Schedule all of your pipeline activities like their client deliverables. So you've got them there ready to go, they're scheduled, and track the temperature of the relationships that you currently have, not just the revenue. So track if your relationships are due to go cold in the next week and the next month, and start doing something about it now. And a really good question to ask yourself is, what will I need in 6 months from now? And what should I do today to get it? If you're consistently keeping this in mind with your business, whether it's a coaching business, consulting business, doesn't really matter. This is going to prevent your feast or famine cycles. This will maintain that consistency and in the opportunity and the flow of opportunities for you. This leverages the compound relationships by this building on your existing connections rather than having to start over and over and over again every time. This significantly reduces the cost of acquisition for clients as well, because your warm prospects, they're always going to convert faster and at a higher rate because you're maintaining the relationship and it's not cold. So to finish off this video, I have a couple quick questions to get you thinking about your current pipeline right now. So question 1 is, what pipeline activities am I avoiding because I'm currently too busy succeeding? Question 2 is, how will my future self feel about my choices, the choices that I'm making right now and today? And then question 3, probably the most important one. What's the cost of rebuilding my pipeline from zero every 6 to 12 months? If you find yourself struggling with this feast or famine cycle in your business and you find it difficult to make time for consistently doing your business development activities, reach out for a phone call. This is the exact type of work that I do with my clients, and I help you not just find time for these type of things, but create those systems so feast or famine doesn't become a problem for you anymore. So to finish off this video, just a final thought. Your future success is not built during your downtime. It's built during your busy time. The question isn't whether or not you have time for your pipeline activities. It's whether you can afford not to make time. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really appreciate you watching all the way through to the end. If you enjoy my content and it's valuable to you, it's resonating with you, I'll just ask, please like the video, hit subscribe, hit the notifications to be notified of when I release my videos. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.